Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, for this video, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do some analysis, and then I am also going to place a trade with Galileo. Lately, there's been a ton of demand for all things Galileo, so I definitely want to make sure I am giving you guys what you want. If you're interested in my program, make sure you go to the link above. And then once you complete the registration, you can be admitted to my private group, and I will work with you one-on-one when it comes to Forex. And if you already have Galileo, I will help you use it. If you don't have Galileo, definitely come to me first so that you don't get ripped off with the extremely high price that they charge. I'll give you the best deal guaranteed. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the charts. So when it comes to analyzing, I have a lot of structure. Um, this sheet that you guys are looking at right here, this is pretty much the information that I look for when it comes to trading. So I need to make sure I check all of these boxes before I place a trade. This way, I'm doing my due diligence, and if I go wrong, I can usually see why I am going wrong. All right, so let's look at this for a second and look at things that stand out to us. All right, so on the ADX, we do see a sell signal was triggered, and we're looking at the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And so we can see that this is saying that this is bearish. Now, one of the things I want to point out with this current condition is that there is divergence. And this is why you need to have some type of oscillator or a indicator that measures momentum. So I use the CCI to measure momentum. So if you look at the CCI is forming higher highs and higher lows. But if you look at the candles, the candles are making it look like it's going down. Okay, so when you have a divergence like this, those are very difficult conditions to trade, and I don't recommend new traders trade divergence. The overall risk is fairly low in these types of positions, but it's very risky. So because I see this higher high with the momentum, I'm looking at buying. Now, what we will notice is every time you place a trade, you want to know who is in control. In this case, the sellers are clearly in control here. All right. However, there's other factors to consider when trading. All right. So just because the sellers are in control doesn't mean there might be a retracement or a pullback. And that's what I'm getting the vibe of what we're looking at. And what I'll do here is if we go to my view on Tradingview, we can kind of see things a little bit clearer. All right. So when it comes to using Galileo, you want to run Galileo on strong support and resistance zones. So we can already see that this current area right here is at a very strong support zone, which is very attractive. We can also see here that it was a previous support zone. So this is a good indication that the price or the buyers tend to come in and take control at this area. We do have a supply zone right here between 69.20 and 61.56. So that's something to be concerned about. So trading this currency pair at this time, we're not looking for big moves. All right. So in a situation like this, we're looking for maybe 20 to 30 pips, give or take. And we just have to be happy with that. You can see on the candles that there is demand building. So this is also a sign that buyers are, they're stepping in to take control. And this is also why I like using the Bollinger Bands for price action, because this lower band, when the lower band is going down, that's an indication that the price is going up. So you see how the lower band is going down, and then you see how the candles are above it. What you don't want is when the lower band is going down and the candles are on top of it, then that means there's strong bearish momentum. But when the lower band is going down and the candles are separating themselves from it, then that's a pretty good sign that the price is going to go up. And it's very consistent. So if we backtest this idea, you can see here, uh, in this case, the lower band was going up. And then we see what happened. The candles went down. All right. So if we're looking for bullish periods, what we're looking for is when the lower band is going down, so the candle's goes up. So this area right here is very attractive for buying. And just a couple more examples here. We can see here the lower band was going down, and then the candles went up. Let's see here. This right here, you see how the lower band went up and then eventually the candles went down. This is a very safe approach to using. So already, I already know my first trade. So I'm going to go ahead and place that for us. All right. So let's see here. So the first thing what I do when it comes to using Galileo, I have templates for everything. My settings are based off of profit targets. So I have 100 pip profit targets, 150 pip profit targets, 50 pip profit targets, and then based off of what I'm trading, like I mentioned before, we're only going to be looking for maybe 20 to 30 pips. So in this case, I would use my Galileo 50 pips setup, and boom, the settings are already set, and I'm ready to go. I wanted to check one more thing before I turn it on. So the New Zealand US dollar kind of follows the Australian US dollar, and the Australian US dollar and the New Zealand US dollar do the opposite of the US dollar Japanese yen. So if I'm buying the Australian US dollar or the New Zealand US dollar, I should be selling the US dollar Japanese yen. So if we just do a quick analysis here, we can see the CCI is going down, which is telling us the momentum is going down. We do see there are spikes outside the upper band, telling us the price is overbought. We do see a sell signal on the ADX, which is looking pretty good. And we can kind of see that there are an increasing amount of sellers coming in to short the US dollar Japanese yen. So what I'm going to do here, because this is the US dollar Japanese yen and the prices tend to be a little bit bigger, I'm going to use my 100 pip setup here. And before you run anything, always confirm your settings. When I trade, I do only long or only short. And because we have a US broker, you can only do one or the other anyway. All right, and then I'll give you guys a look at my settings here. So I'm going to reduce this just because of the risk. And by the way, this account is for public view. So you guys can see the performance of this account. I'm going to have the link to it in the video. So I'm going to change this to 3, and I'm going to keep everything else as is. And I think this is going to be a very attractive trade to make. And I think we're good. So I'm just going to stick with that. And this is make sure I have I'm going to change this to 2. With the US dollar Japanese yen, it's at a very weird place right now. It's super high. Um, the buyers are in control, but I believe that there is going to be a massive correction. And when that happens, I think the US dollar Japanese yen is going to take a huge drop. All right. So everything looks good. We're near resistance, which is nice. And I'm not going to worry about other currency pairs at this time. So I use the VPS. And before I do that, so because I want Galileo to place a trade right now, I'm going to put it on the minute one time frame. And then um, we're going to synchronize. And then this way, I'm guaranteed Galileo is going to place a trade. And then at that point, I will switch it back to maybe the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame to slow it down because the time frames basically means Galileo is going to look for a trade every minute if you're on the minute time frame or every hour if you're on the hour time frame. So I don't want Galileo placing trades every minute. That's why we're going to switch. All right, so the US dollar Japanese yen place a trade. So now I'm just going to wait until the New Zealand US dollar places a trade, and then I'm going to change the other one. Let's see, I chose the wrong one. It doesn't matter that I switched it to the 1 hour time frame because since I'm using a VPS, the only data that is going off of is what I use when I first synchronize everything. All right. So there we go. So we have the 1 hour here, we have the 1 hour there. So hopefully in a few minutes here, the New Zealand US dollar will place a trade and we'll be good we'll be good for the time being. All right. So one of the benefits of being in my program is if you are struggling and you come to me and you're like, hey, Jeremy, I can't find winning trades at all. Everybody that's in my group gets one of these analysis sheets to use. So what I will have you do is I will have you analyze a couple currency pairs just so I understand where your head is at. Okay. And then from there, I can see, okay, you know what? There's a few things that we're missing in our analysis. And then we go back and forth until you start to be more profitable. And then at that point, you start trading live again. And then you should be good from there. All right. So make sure you reach out to me if you have questions about Forex, questions about Galileo. The link to my public verification account is going to be in the description. And thank you for everyone for watching this video. And you guys have a great day.